Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Everything in the Sky with me, the Rusted Gamer. And I got carried away. I've been pretty busy in the off time, starting with all of this over here. Let's get into it. Alright, so I rebuilt my extruding system and I expanded upon it quite substantially. So we got a whole bunch of different materials over here now. You see, we got ochre. We got our dirt now because we had rich soil. I had to make a compost, I believe. And then we got our cobbled deep slate, we got our tuff, we got our limestone, and our blackstone. So like, we got a lot of stuff coming out now. Now one of the things I needed, if you look over here, cobbled deep slate required ice. All of these hinged on cobbled deep slate, and I didn't have packed ice. I had a little bit of ice, but it wasn't the right ice and it needed to be compressed. So I had to go out pretty far over here and built a platform. I actually had to build it twice because I was in the wrong spot to freeze some water, then get the initial ice, but no worries there. And then once I had the initial ice, I could also use the extruder to make snowballs. And when snowballs combined with water in the basin, you get ice. Then I have the ice coming in here. It gets packed again with water again in the basin, as you can see. And honestly, I've just been kind of taking it out as it builds up and recycling it through because it works the same every time. And slowly compressing it into a higher state. Like you can see, I got up to 3x right now. Yep. But that's it. That's it for the farms. But now it's time to get into. I need storage. Right, like I do not have adequate storage. It's kind of a pain in the butt to move stuff around. I've basically just been filling up my inventory here with cobblestone, and that's no longer cutting it anymore. So I'm going to need to make some backpacks. That's what's going to get me through to the next level. And in addition to getting ready to make the backpacks, one of the highest level is a netherite backpack, so I need netherite scrap. So I was able to just use this system with the nether rack from over here. In fact, I'm going to refill it. And I don't even have to make any changes. I can just put the nether rack instead of cobblestone in here, and it works that way. And I've built up a massive amount of materials, both in here. Look at all the diamonds, the gold. I've smelted a bunch already over here, as you can see, and I got some over there in one of the chests. So I got a lot of resources. That's fantastic. And a pretty good amount of netherite already, too. So let's go ahead and take a look at the backpacks. Alright, let's start by getting our netherite situated. How many can we make? 27. Fantastic. Alright, so this is what we're going to make right here, the backpack. Alright, 18 backpacks. Now the nice thing about these is as we upgrade them through the levels here, they the amount that they hold gets much bigger, right? So, and you can pick them up. So the fantastic thing about backpacks is it's kind of like a shulker box, but it's got a huge inventory to it when it's fully upgraded. Do the iron upgrade, we just do this, bam, bam, bam. This is what I'm talking about by inventory size, right? We have an iron backpack here. It's kind of like a double chest. When we up to a gold backpack, you can see how much bigger it gets. Now we just got to get everything upgraded to diamond and netherite. Check out the size of a diamond backpack, and look at how huge that is. Fantastic. So we may have a lot of ore, but what I don't have is a lot of materials left. I use so many materials. I'm doing okay in fluid pipes and stuff, but I'm going to have to do a lot more crafting. And for that, I'm going to need a lot of andesite alloy. So we're going to go ahead and set up a mechanical crafter to create it for us. What we'll use these crafters here to take the two different items that we need. And yeah, that's basically it. So let me go ahead and start coming up with a design to figure this out. Alright, so this is what we're going to have happen. We'll put our two backpacks down here, one of diorite and one of cobblestone. And what we'll do is we'll flow those into this mechanical crafter here. This will combine them together to make the andesite, which will go into this barrel at the moment. I don't know if I'm going to leave it a barrel. And then what's going to happen is we are going to flow that andesite into this mechanical crafter. I do have to set the front of it up. Now what you can do on the back is link different spots on it. So now these will all take the same item, which is going to be the andesite. So I only need to have one input for the 2 slots. And then this back here will be most likely iron nuggets. And those will come out and load into these 2 slots. So if we do this, like that, that's it. That's the whole machine right there. So let me go ahead. Oh, and I made these crafting slot covers right here. So when we have it set up and it's operational, what we'll do is we'll put those over those 5 slots there, and we'll only use these 4. Let me go ahead and program this up and get it hooked up. Alright, we've been pretty busy here. I built a couple more mechanisms. This one's making me small cogs and big cogs. And I've already emptied this thing out a couple of times already. Been doing a lot of crafting. We're doing great with the andesite alloy. I've probably used 30 or 40 stacks of this already. Well, I mean basically shafts over here. You use a lot of shafts. I've also done a lot of actual fabrication. Fluid stuff is getting up there. We got some more redstone components now. We got a lot more casings. We made a lot of bolts. A lot of like the actual movement materials between encased chain drives, clutches, gear shifts, mechanical arms, which is something we'll be using in our next major build. So very, very busy. And I needed crushing wheels for something, so I went and built this mechanism here. Same thing, it uses it to make crushing wheels. I do have storage on the backside, so this is how I'm feeding some of it. And then I just come over here and I do this. And you can watch it fill from the backside. I'm going to make a bunch of these, and then up next, oh, and I also built this module over here. This is using lava to make gilded blackstone. So I put gold over here. I'm running low on gold at the moment, as you can see. And blackstone over on this side, and then we got lava pumping it into a blaze burner over here. So the power source is infinite. And I'm already up to almost 1 full double backpack, or 1 full backpack, and I think I want 2 backpacks for what I'm going to be doing. Alright, so here we are. Here we are. I've been pretty busy, been crafting. Looks pretty good up here. I'm actually at the point where I think I can start ripping down some modules. I don't need the modules for the cogs anymore. I mean, we got 2 full chests of cogs. That's going to get us through until at least we're done with our next major project. Definitely don't need precision mechanisms anymore. I got plenty of those. So I might start ripping down a couple of different things. But I've also been gathering inventory. Check this out. There's 30,000 dirt here. We have 7,500 netherite. We got a lot of what is this stuff? Calcite, which I still have to process again. But yeah, let's talk for a minute about the next major project of the series. So this is not my island. I will build something here at some point later on down the line, just as like a spawn island. But this is not where I'm planning to build my island. And I'm definitely planning on using the Create mod to do a serious amount of building. So the plan, I'm going to make a gigantic bowl. A huge, huge bowl. The ends will come up. You know, something like this all the way, both sides. And then obviously probably grass on top. So I'm going to do something like this, right? This isn't not obviously the full-on contour, the texture. This is just an explanational type of deal. And it is going to be huge. I'm planning to be 250 to 275 blocks in diameter, right? So we're going to use a lot of resources on this, a lot of resources. In the bottom is going to be probably 2 to 3 layers in some places. I'm going to have a glass layer in a couple of spots like this. and then it's going to be surrounded by something else. I'm not sure what I'm using for this floor up here yet. But this bottom is going to be glass, right? And then I'm going to pump this all full of lava. So if you're underneath this island, there's going to be architectural rings of lava, which I'm going to hope makes it look like that's why it's floating up in the air, right? Because there's nothing going to be natural about it. And then afterwards, after we have the gigantic circle, which we can use kind of this for, right? The gigantic circle, 250 in diameter. I'm going to make arms that come off it in each direction like this, which I'm going to probably use for different types of farms as well. For instance, my wood farm can go in there, a crops-based farm can go in there very, very easily. Maybe I put, a couple of the animal pens or something like that in one of the arms. Not entirely sure yet, but that's going to be the plan. And for that, I need a massive amount of resources. Now, I think I'm going to take and use the calcite for the lower floor here. I'm going to process it again, make a machine to process it all one more time and turn it to a different type of block. And then this layer here, it doesn't really matter what it is. You're not going to be able to see it from the top or the bottom. And then down here, between the glass layers, I think I want to do a little bit of the gilded blackstone on either side of like the lava, and then probably a gray block, something grayish between the gilded blackstone. I'm not entirely sure yet. I got quite a bit of resources to choose from. But that's what I think I'm going to go for. And like I said, it's going to be 250 blocks in diameter, so it's going to be pretty huge. And check this out. Look at all the resources. I got tons of iron, diamond, copper, gold. I got a ton of casings. I've built a lot of machinery here, used a ton of resources. Just this diamond mesh alone used probably 15 stacks of diamond, 15 stacks of andesite, 15 stacks of, I think it's brass, to go through all the different progressions of mesh until you get to the diamond. Lots of different item movement stuff already set up and ready to go, so I'm pretty much good. I got a lot of storage, lots of vaults. This is my little redstone bag, so I got lots of the redstone links, which we can use to do wireless transfers of current, so that we'll be able to shut off on and on modules when we start making our create mechanisms inside. Lots and lots. Look at this. I got 2 stacks of steam engines. You know how much resources go into that? Massive amount. But it's looking good. I'm going to start cleaning up some of the modules on this island I don't need. In building a new batch. Alright, check it out. It's a saw. Well, maybe it's a saw module. So what I'm going to do here, this is how I'm going to take care of the calcite. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the stone cutter. I'm going to pick, I think, polished cut calcite and polished calcite, like that. 2 textures pretty similar to each other. So I got these 2 textures, they're pretty similar to each other, so I'm legit just going to do this. That's it. We are making calcite. Now I could probably do this faster if I did it all manually, but I'm going to let it go within the automation. And then not only do I not have to do it manually, but I can do other stuff while this is going on. As you can see, I already potentially pulled out some modules. There's some more stuff over there I pulled out. But yeah, more importantly, I'm starting work on my island and my resources. Alright, well we're back. It's been a little bit of time. Everything is still running pretty much. Check this out, check it out. We got a ton of inventory. We got about 30,000 dripstone blocks. We got a fair amount of nether bricks. Same thing for this gilded blackstone. And then up here, check this out. We got almost 45 to 50,000 dirt. About 45,000 of different, I forget what this stuff is here, hold on. The polished calcite. So we are cooking for resources. So let's get over and take a look at where we are going to be building. Alright, here we are. Check it out. This is the beginning of the mechanism that's going to form our island. It is 125 blocks long from each end to end, meaning that when we make our final island, it's going to be, I think, 249 blocks in diameter. Well, it's going to be a little more than that because the wall is going to jut out, but it's going to be like 262 blocks in diameter or something like that. A little around 260. And then in each of these 5 channels, I'm going to put a little bit of lava, and that's how it's going to go. And we are way over here, so thankfully, I don't believe when we form our island, because it's about here to here, I don't believe when we form our island spinning this direction here, we're going to collect this spawn point. One of the issues I do have over here on my island is I believe the very corner of this platform is within the spawn chunks of this pillager outpost. So every now and again I get a pillager spawn on my island. Now that's not a big deal, but it's kind of a pain, you know? Rather not have that happen, and I don't believe any of this is going to be in the spawn chunks of this pillager outpost, even when I go ahead and make the arms in the cardinal directions. Because they should, I mean, these ones will definitely miss it. I'd be more concerned about this Wilden den over here than anything else. And nothing here, here, or here. So I think we're going to be okay. And yeah, that's going to be it, I think. I think we're going to call for an episode there. I got to supply up. I need more resources. One complete floor layer on this is going to be about 50,000 blocks. And I want to have the dirt be 2 deep. So that's going to be 100,000 dirt. Maybe a little more, actually. So I still need some more resources. I'm going to continue doing some collecting. The walls are also going to be built out of dripstone and ochre. Ochre being another kind of brownish block, a little more golden than brown. So I'm hoping that makes a nice texture there. And yeah, I also need tuff, because the tuff is going to be on the bottom between the gilded blackstone and the lava. Well, between the gilded blackstone, so the lava is going to be like in the middle, you know, and then there's going to be gilded blackstone on either side, and then after that it'll be the tuff, the gray block. So that's the plan, and we'll see how it goes. But I think that's going to be about it for this episode. Next episode is going to be a huge, huge build. We're going to put down, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 complete layers. So that's 200,000 blocks. A partial 3rd layer in between the bottom, the walls. So yeah, we're probably going to put somewhere down between 300 and 350,000 blocks next episode. So yeah, don't miss it. Don't miss it. And we're not even planning to do the arms in the next episode. That'll probably be the start of the last episode. But yeah, until then, I've been The Rusted Gamer. If you like what you saw, like, thumbs up, subscribe. You know the deal. And until next episode, have a great day.